Hello everybody, welcome back to Jared Opens the Box here on Jared Takes the L, and another great episode for you guys here today because we are taking a look at some new Five Nights at Freddy's Funko Pops. These ones in particular from Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, which we did play on the channel quite a few times actually. I think they 3 or 4 episodes of the game on the channel. This wave is kind of cool because honestly, only one of these characters was really introduced in Help Wanted 2. Everybody else was in previous FNaF games, but just never got any pops. So this is actually really cool. I mean, we have some that debuted in Security Breach. There's one that debuted all the way back in Pizzeria Simulator, and even one that debuted in the original Help Wanted. So this is really cool. Kind of fun that they were able to make this a whole ensemble cast of characters for this, but let's go ahead and start with our first one. A character that, if Security Breach ever did actually get a normal pop wave, which it didn't, that was a whole thing. If you were around in the, Funko 2020 era, that was a whole thing. But this is a character that definitely would have been part of that wave. We have Vanny. So this is Pop Games number 1130. The box is really, really cool. It even has Funtime Foxy hanging around in the back there. I don't know why, but he is back there. And then there's, of course, the rest of the wave with the Help Wanted 2 logo. And yeah, let's go ahead and just open this one up. I'm surprised it honestly took them this long to start making Security Breach characters, but I guess better late than never, right? All right, so of course this one does come with a base as well. All right, so here is Vanny. This one came out really nice, honestly. They even got like the different shades of colors on her suit, which is really cool. She also has the red eyes, which fits with fits with the red eyes that she has in the game. She has little whiskers on the outfit, the little blue bow tie, whatever you want to call that. And you can just see all the stitching and stuff in the costume as well, which is a really cool detail for this pop. And, like I said, Vanny's not really in Help Wanted 2 very much. I think she's only really in it for, bits and pieces, including one of the endings. So I feel like this was kind of just an excuse to make a figure for the character. And actually, it does stand up on its own pretty well. It doesn't really need a base. Yeah, it stands up just fine. But honestly, this one came out really nice. I like like I said, all the stitching and the different colors and stuff on the outfit. It looks really cool. They did a great job with this one. And yeah, I don't have any complaints. Oh, and she has eyebrows too. For some reason, she felt like that was important to sew onto the costume. Even the ears, 2 different colors there. Really cool details. All right, let's move on to our next one here. Another one that I was really excited to see. I feel like this was a long time coming. We have Glitchtrap. So, like Vanny, Glitchtrap did have an action figure made back with the Curse of Dreadbear wave, which Glitchtrap also wasn't really a part of. So, now he has a Funko Pop as part of Help Wanted 2. This is Pop Games 1128. The box is pretty much the same for this one as well. So let's go ahead and open this one up. So yeah, like Vanny, Glitchtrap isn't really in Help Wanted 2 very much. Mostly just kind of a background threat, to the game. Makes appearances here and there, and then of course in one of the endings. Glitchtrap also one of the most mysterious characters in the series. There are still so many debates to this day as to whether or not that he is actually like the Mimic's code, or whether it's actually William Afton. I feel like that ship's kind of sailed on that one, but just what Glitchtrap is still kind of unknown. And I think the story for him has probably changed a couple of times at this point, but I really think this one looks really cool. Again, like Vanny, we do see some of that stitching there on the arms and everything. They gave him a little tail, which is so funny. He does have the purple vest, but for some reason he doesn't have the stars on it. I did notice that. Also, I think he had buttons in the game too, so they did miss a couple of details there. I'm not entirely sure why. but you know that's fine. The eyes look kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, just the face that he's making. I know it's supposed to be, based off of how he looks in the game. He's even doing the wave and everything. But I don't know, it just kind of looks like he might be, a little high or something. It just looks really funny to me. But in all honesty, I think they were just trying to replicate, what he does in the original Help Wanted, and I think it just kind of came out a little funny there. But overall, I think it's another really good figure in the series. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Now I'm trying to remember what color eyes. Didn't he have like purple eyes? That would have been kind of cool instead of just the white eyes, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But like I said, a lot of good details on this one, and I'm just glad that we have Glitchtrap as a pop. All right, moving on to our next one here. This one also really caught me by surprise. Was not expecting to see this in the wave. But we have Scrap Baby. So Scrap Baby was all the way back in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator back in 2017. She was the Build-A-Figure from the Pizzeria Simulator wave. And that was pretty much the only merch other than a mystery mini that she got from Funko. So the fact that they actually revisited this and gave her a pop, and granted, she does have a decent role in the game in one of the first aid levels, but still, the fact that they actually gave her a pop is kind of crazy, but I thought it was awesome. So this is Pop Games number 1129. And again, the box is going to be the same for this one. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so honestly, kudos to Funko here because this is really, really accurate. Like, this is crazy accurate. They got pretty much all of the design details down. They got the face with the teeth and everything, even the green eyes, which is a great detail. The little hair looks really cool, even has like the wires in it and the pigtails. And even that little crown thing that Baby had in the game is up there. And then look at all the details down here. Of course, that little, everyone always called it the lobster claw that she has, is there. Even the roller skates are detailed there as well. This was honestly one of the weirdest designs in the franchise because it definitely, I mean, in the game, it's like Baby was kind of putting herself back together with whatever she could find. So the fact that they were actually able to get everything, as part of that is pretty crazy. And he did a really, really good job of just getting all the details here. It just looks really cool. And honestly, it definitely shows with this figure how different Scrap Baby was from the original Circus Baby. It's a night and day difference. It doesn't really even look like her. Honestly, if it wasn't for the name, you could think this was a completely different character. It's just crazy. But they did a really good job with this one. I love all of the details, the colors. Everything is just very accurate, and it's quite surprising that they were able to do all of that for this figure. But I give this one an A+ for sure. All right, moving on to our next one. This one is pretty surprising as well, especially given the size, and you'll be like, what does that even mean? But it's DJ Music Man, and now if you know from the game, he's also from Security Breach, but he has another decent role in Help Wanted too. In the game, DJ Music Man is humongous. Like, he's the biggest character in the game. He towers over just about everybody, and he is just this massive animatronic that you have to try to avoid, basically being stepped on by him in one of the levels in the game. But they didn't make him like a 6-inch pop or anything. He's just a normal-sized pop, and they put him in one of these like sideways boxes, which really took me by surprise, especially because there were rumors that it was going to be at least a pop premium, which, as we've seen before, those ones are, wow. Let me try that again. Those ones are typically much bigger than the standard pops. Not quite as big as like the 6-inch ones, but they're at least somewhat bigger. So it was kind of surprising to see him, just get the smaller box. But nonetheless, it is still the same as all of the other ones. So let's go ahead and open this one up. Somehow. How do you open these? I actually have no idea. I do not open these sideways ones very often. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. Wow, honestly pretty impressive. So here is DJ Music Man. Honestly, I gotta give credit where credit's due. They did a pretty good job with how small this figure is. Of course, you do see all the details here, the little piano keys for teeth, of course the headphones there as well, little top hat, just like the original Music Man had, and he does still have all 6 of his feet here as well. One of them is lifted up, but the other one are there. I hated this section, I really did. I mean, it was such a pain to get around and everything. But I have to give a lot of credit here. They did a great job on the colors and the details, even giving him those little spots on the back and whatever this is. That's a speaker, isn't it? Yeah, a little speaker on his back. They did a really good job with this. Like I said, it just would have been better as a bigger figure, you know? But for some reason, they just decided not to. They figured this was the way to go. And I guess it's fine. I mean, they were able to accomplish everything that they wanted to with this one. Even the face and everything. Oh, it's so creepy. I didn't even like the original Music Man. Everyone thought he was creepy, you know, the spider-looking thing, and now they made him even worse. And it's just like, why? Why would you do that? And now he's a pop. Now he's going to be in my collection. And it's like, what are we doing here, you know? But I digress. It's really cool. I think they did a good job given, you know, what they had. And it stands up fine, which is great. It's going to be my nightmares now. Anyways, moving on to our 2 exclusives. This wave actually had exclusives. Not many FNaF waves have been getting that, but this one had 2. So our first one was from Funko Shop. This one also had a chase, but I didn't get the chase. Or I did get the chase, but I'm not doing it in this video. This one is Roxy. That's right, we finally got Roxy. This is the first of the main 4 animatronics from Security Breach to get a normal pop. And yes, I know Roxy and Chica did have the ruined versions as part of the Security Breach Ruin wave, but this is the first one that's actually just, you know, the normal character. So here's Roxy. There's the box and everything. The chase for this one is in one of the levels in Help Wanted 2, you basically dress Roxy, like you do her makeup and everything. So that's what the chase is, and it has like the glasses and stuff that you can put on her. So that was cool. That's honestly really cool. Right, let's go ahead and open this one up. So yeah, honestly, this one came out pretty good. I mean, all things considered, this is another really good FNaF pop. They did all of the details there, even gave her like the little, you know, earrings and everything. The hair is pretty good. They got the green strand there, and then it goes all the way down to basically the base, which is crazy. And then the outfit and everything looks really good. They got all of those design details. I mean, I don't really know what I was trying to think of what else to say, but they absolutely nailed the design for this one. So whoever the artist was for the Help Wanted 2 pops, great job, because these all so far have looked really, really good. Even gave her the tail and everything. I do like as well that they just attached the base here, because that tends to make things easier. They did the same thing with Scrap Baby. It's just easier that way, because I've just noticed recently the bases just do not want to stay. So if it's actually connected to the figure, that's going to make things a little bit easier. So I do appreciate that they at least did that for Roxy and Scrap Baby. But yeah, overall, this is a really, really cool, really cool figure. They did a good job with this one, and yeah, I'm excited to see if we get any other, you know, pops of the original, you know, Security Breach characters. Hint, hint, there might already be one. It's just coming later, but but this one looks really cool. So, all right, let's move on to our last pop of the video, our other exclusive. This one being Hot Topic exclusive, and the only one to actually debut in Help Wanted 2. We have Jack-O-Moon. So this is a Hot Topic exclusive. I already said that, but you can also see they decided to start tossing these stickers on the box, which I don't really like, but whatever. This is Pop Games number 1133. And yeah, someone on the Funko team must really like Moon, you know, or the daycare attendant in general, because we've gotten a lot of figures of Sun and Moon and Eclipse and now this guy. So it's like, I don't know, they just really like the character, I guess. But Jack-O-Moon appears twice in the game, I think, both in the hard mode levels. One is the Captain Foxy level, and the other one is the Carousel level. I didn't get to play either of those, actually, in the videos. I never actually got to meet him. I'm kind of glad I didn't, though, because, as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of Moon. We've had a lot of, you know, encounters, and it never seems to work out for me. But nonetheless, here's Jack-O-Moon apparently joining the other Jack-O animatronics like Jack-O Bonnie, Jack-O Chica, and I guess Grim Foxy if you want to toss him in there. He is joining that family. Honestly, really cool. They actually reused a completely different mold. Oh, then again, I guess there wasn't a traditional moon pop because they just did the sun and moon combination. So this is kind of a first in that regard. But this one looks really cool. It's actually kind of a mix of sun and moon because it has like sun's, like the rays up there, and then of course everything else is the moon, which is really creepy. Obviously, this would have worked well as a glow-in-the-dark pop with like the eyes and the mouth, but that's fine. And then even see like half of his face is orange, the other half is like a dark purplish color. And then the rest of the outfit, you do see some dark red, some almost like a beige color, which is really cool. And of course, they also do have the circuitry and everything on the back, just like they did for the other ones. So that's really cool. Oh, and he does have his bells all over as well. So there's Jack-O-Moon. I think this one's really cool. The whole wave, honestly, awesome, very accurate, 10 out of 10, 100%. Probably one of my all-time favorite FNaF waves that we've had so far. I think they just did a really good job with these guys. So let me know down below which is your favorite. I'll go through them one more time. So we had Vanny, we have Glitchtrap, we have Scrap Baby, we have DJ Music Man, we have Roxy, and we have Jack-O-Moon. So let me know down below which of these are your favorites. When we come back in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have some new WWE Funko Pops to be taking a look at. And yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.